price you pay upfront, usually around 20 to 25% of the value. It is a cost because if you can afford to spend this money, then you can afford to invest it as well. But now instead of earning returns on it, you make nothing of it. It's an opportunity cost. The second is the EMI and the interest. If you take a loan, you have to pay EMIs every month. It's like your new rent, but to the bank instead of the landlord. Don't forget the interest. For a 50 lakh home loan, you pay an additional 58 lakh as interest over a 20-year period. What the F? Number three, registration costs. Think of it as putting your ownership in ink. Varies between 3 to 7% of the home cost and is paid by the buyer. Number four, brokerage fees. Brokers assist in your home search. Their fee, the brokerage, a commission for the service, usually 1% of the home cost. And then number five, would have been your home loan EMI and the rent as a monthly SIP or a systematic investment plan. Then, over a 10-year period, you will build enough corpus to buy nearly 50 to 70% of your dream home on a down payment. Don't trust me? Do the math. Scan the QR code available in the supplemental PDF to view the projections in an Excel sheet. Now, when I say this, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't buy a house. Just don't buy it when you're young. When you're young, number one, renting gives a higher standard of living within your budget. Rental yields are very low in India, between 2 to 3%. So your monthly rent is kinder on your wallet. You might not be able to buy the posh apartment with a view, but you can definitely rent it. Number two, renting frees up funds for investment opportunities. That down payment money, you can invest it elsewhere. Stocks, bonds, or even to start a side hustle that gives you a shot at growing your money. And number three, renting keeps life flexible. You're not tied down to one spot, at least not early on. Got a job opportunity in another city? Want to explore different neighborhoods? Perhaps even move countries? Renting lets you do it without the stress of selling a house. It's like having a backpack instead of a suitcase. You're ready to move whenever adventure calls. Picture your early 20s. You don't have a clue where you'll end up in a few years. Renting feels like your passport to changing cities, to changing jobs, all without being tied down. Plus, let's face it, cash is always short. Fast forward your mid 30s. You've got a clearer roadmap of where you want to be. Settling down in a certain city, buying starts to make more sense. Financially, you've leveled up too. That down payment money you invested in your 20s, by now it's grown to a respectable amount. In your 30s, you're also more likely to be able to handle higher EMIs, so you pay less in interest over time. The verdict? There's no one size fits all answer. My parents got their home at 50. I jumped in at 40. When to buy? That's your call. Always. Ultimately, only you can decide what's right for you. Just make sure it's right for you. Financially, run the numbers. Emotionally, do it only if it brings you joy. Stay away from bad debt. Today, it's extremely easy to accumulate debt. Easily available credit cards, tempting buy now, pay later schemes. Bad debt is any loan that you take for a non essential item or a depreciating purchase. Car loans, credit card, consumer loans, potentially bad debts. Did you know credit cards can hit you with a whopping 35 to 40% interest rate? Compare that to the 8-9% on home loans or 10 to 12% on education loans. Seriously, what the F? Always pay off payment increases. Plus, your credit rating is affected. Credit cards give you the illusion of free money. You start thinking you're rolling in cash when you're really not. It's like taking a loan while hoping you'll magically pay it off later. Treat your card like a cool debit card. Swipe it only when you've got the cash ready to go or when you're sure you'll have it next month. Here's how to use credit cards to make you money. Number one, interest free loans. Credit cards offer a 30 to 45-day interest free period. It's like a mini loan for whatever you need. So if you make a big purchase using a card early in the month, invest that amount in a short term debt fund. You earn some happy money for free. Never say no to free money, my friend. Number two, improved credit score. Your credit score, which is also called the CIBIL score, determines credit worthiness. It increases based on how consistently you pay off your loans and how many loans you have. Higher score is equal to a better credit profile. So if you pay your credit card bill on time and in full, your rating builds and improves. Better rating means VIP loan treatment in the future. You get lower rate of interest and save money in the long run. Number three, reward points. Redeem reward points for air miles, free tickets, hotel stays, gift cards, cashback, and more. Explore and make the most of these freebies. Pro tip: when you apply for a credit card for the first time, opt for one with zero yearly charges. If you can't get one which is backed by a fixed deposit. The stress free way to clear your loans faster. The only principle you need to know: reduce the loan tenure so you can reduce the interest you pay. Here's how you can pay off a 25-year loan in just 10 years. Let's break down the loan basics. Your EMI is equal to the principal that you pay to clear the loan plus the interest that you pay to the bank. In the initial phase, you pay more interest and less principal, so the banks reap profits. Over time, you pay more principal and the interest declines. The trick is to slash your interest costs as early as possible. There are two ways to save interest on loans. Number one, pay extra EMIs every year. And number two, keep increasing your EMI every year. So, for example, say you've taken a 40 lakh rupee loan at 8% for 25 years. Every year, if you pay one extra EMI, so instead of 12 EMIs, you pay 13 EMIs, plus increase your original EMI amount by 5% every year, you will clear your 25-year loan in just 12 and a half years. What if you increase your EMI by 10% every year? You will clear your 25-year loan in just 10 years. You will also save 50% in interest that you would have paid over 25 years. The best part, it doesn't matter what the loan amount is. This maths always works. Let me repeat. If you give one extra EMI every year, plus increase your original EMI by 10% every year, you pay off a 25-year loan in just 10 years. Scan the QR code in the supplemental PDF to see how it works in MS Excel. You have extra money in hand? Should you pay off the loan or invest the money? Check for three things. Number one, the interest that you're paying. If it's greater than 10%, then consider prepaying because the loan is expensive. If it's less than 10%, consider investing the extra money in mutual funds. You can potentially earn a better return over a period of time. Number two, check how old the loan is. If it's more than 75% lapsed, do not prepay, because in this case, you're paying more of the principal amount than the interest. If it's less than 75% lapsed, consider prepaying. You will save on interest. And the third thing to check for is the outstanding amount. If it's greater than the extra cash you have, pay and reduce the term of the loan, but not the EMI. If it's less than the extra cash, pay in full and close the loan. Are you severely in debt and you've got multiple loans? There are two simple methods to handle them like a boss. The first one is the maths driven avalanche method. In this case, you rank the loans in decreasing order of EMIs and you pay the highest EMI loans first, then move to the smaller ones. Since you will pay off the highest loans first, you will save a lot of interest. However, if the highest EMI loan is also a long tenure loan, the process could be long and discouraging. The second method is the win-focused snowball method, where you rank the loans in increasing order of EMIs. And you start with the smallest EMI loans first, then move on to the bigger ones. Leaves you with a feeling of progress. It's like trying to lose weight. Seeing some movement on the scale gets you hyped to watch your diet and exercise. And that's true for loans as well. However, you pay more in interest overall. Are you not sure of which one to pick? We have a QR code that you can scan in the supplemental PDF that will test each method for you in MS Excel. Here are some bonus tips to pay off your loans faster. First, extend your loan duration. When you ask for more time, your monthly payments reduce. Use the extra cash to pay the principal of young loans where interest is still high. Number two, refinance expensive loans. Pay off high interest loans first, then focus on the small fries. For instance, ditch that hefty 40 to 50% credit card interest. How? Swap it for a personal loan at 13 to 16%. Use it to crush your credit card debt, then tackle the rest. Number three, keep loan installments under 30% of income. Don't let it exceed this. Stick with the 50, 30, 20 budgeting rule and you will never misstep. And number four, settlement as the last resort. Negotiate a lower debt amount to clear your loan. One major downside here, it permanently damages your credit rating. Getting future loans becomes challenging. Mark Cuban wonderfully once said, pay off debt first. Freedom from debt is worth more than any amount you can earn. As we reach the end of this chapter, I want you to think about this. Number one, budget. From your income after tax, 50% goes to basic needs, 30% for wants, desires, things you love, and 20% for investing. Flip the ratio on any increment or side income you get. 50% to investments, 30% to your wants, 20% for your needs. Budgeting forces you to distinguish between essential spending and discretionary spending. It encourages you to cut spending on things you don't love so you can spend on all the things you do. It compels you to save and invest for your future. Number two, before making any big money decisions, run the numbers. Consider all the costs associated, including the hidden costs. Check if it aligns with your long-term goals. And do it only because you want to, because it's right for you. Forget YOLO, FOMO, and peer pressure when it comes to money. Number three, don't get tangled in credit card debt. No minimum payments. Please, treat your credit card like a debit card. Swipe only when you have the cash. As an action item from this chapter, I want you to do this. Number one, take stock of everything. Let's start with your yearly income. How much salary do you make? Other forms of income. Could be rent, could be side income. What is the interest that you earn on FDs, etc.? Any other income that you have. And by virtue of that, what's the total income you earn? Then let's move to your yearly expenditure. What are your expenditures around needs? EMIs, rent, utilities, travel, food, etc. What is your expenditure around wants? Phone, eating out, travel, car, bike, etc. How much do you end up saving or investing every year? And by virtue of this, what's your total expenditure? And then finally, you calculate the share of every expenditure category. And then you find out how much do you spend on needs, which is the needs expenditure divided by the total expenditure. How much do you spend on wants, which is the wants expenditure divided by the total expenditure. How much do you spend on savings and investing, which is the savings or investments that you make divided by the total expenditure. And what is then the current proportion of needs is to wants is to savings. Then take stock of your bank accounts. Note down how many bank accounts do you have and also how much money you have in each of them. Then take stock of your debt. Note down how many loans you currently have, how much of the loan amount is due, and how much time is left. Note down how many credit cards you have, what is the outstanding amount on each card. Then we take stock of your investments. Write down all your investments so far and their approximate value. Include gold, mutual funds, 10 years, and you save 60% on your interest amount. We spoke about this in detail in the chapter titled So That I Can Spend It Wisely. Number 12, buy life insurance when you're young. You pay a lower premium and get longer coverage. Why wouldn't you save on something so fundamental? For example, if you buy insurance when you're 25 till you're 65, you get 40 years of cover and still end up paying a lesser premium than if you were to buy the same cover at age 35 and only get cover for 30 years. We speak about this in detail in the chapter titled And Use the Money to Protect You. And finally, number 13, shop online in incognito mode. Prices keep increasing when you keep searching for items online, flight tickets, hotels, or even products. So switch to incognito mode. You'll get a price that is given to a new user. This can't work on apps, so do your buying on your desktop or laptop. Disclaimer, I have no way to prove this. Use these hacks as a smart way to save more money without compromising on your desires and needs. Save as a gift to your future self. The gift of security, the ability to meet your life goals, a safety net for unpredictability, freedom to live life on your own terms. But don't go through life focusing only on a savings mindset. There's a limit to how much you can save. But remember, there's no limit to how much you can earn. Keep finding ways to increase your income. That will help you build wealth much faster than saving. I'll end the chapter with a beautiful quote from Jim Rohn. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are that you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. As we finish this chapter, I want you to think about this. There's always a limit to how much you can save. Don't go through life skimping on things that matter. Save and invest, but do so mindfully. Focus on boosting your income. Remember, that's limitless. I also want you to do this. Number 1, set clear financial goals for yourself. What are the big expenses you expect in the short term, which is less than 3 years? Maybe a new phone, vacation, new juicer, gym membership, whatever. What are the big expenses you expect in the medium term, 3 to 10 years? Further studies, new car, marriage, an international vacation. What are the big expenses you expect in the long term, greater than 10 years? Build a retirement fund, buy a house, your kids' education. Calculate the money you need to meet those goals according to today's price, and calculate the amount of money you thus need in life. This exercise is simpler than you'd think. Scan the QR code available in the supplemental PDF for a simple way to find your magic number using an Excel sheet. Next, check, are you saving at least 20% of your salary? If not, what are the steps you can take to increase your savings? And then finally, get that money out of your savings account and invest. Saving is meaningless without investing wisely. Chapter 5, and use the money to protect me. Insurance is like a parachute. If you don't have it the first time you need it, you won't need it again. At 26, I landed my first job, got health insurance from the company, for myself and my parents. Yay! The coverage was great. I was thrilled. I left in 3 years to launch a startup. My corporate insurance lapsed. I delayed buying a new plan. Big mistake. One evening, my dad experienced horrible stomach pain. He was diagnosed with severe pancreatitis. After a week-long hospital stay, we saw the bill, 2.4 lakh rupees. I was shocked. Stupid, stupid me. First and always, protect yourself, which comprises 3 things. Number 1, get health insurance to keep you steady amid surprise medical emergencies. Number 2, get life insurance for when the unimaginable occurs, death disability, accidents. And number three, build an emergency fund for everything else. Let's start from the beginning. Insurance. Insurance is a deal that you make with a company to give you financial protection in case shit happens. Think of it as a small token amount you pay to receive a huge sum of money should you need it. Premium is the small token amount that you pay every month or every year to provide yourself with the safety net. And cover is the maximum amount you can avail when the need arises or the event for which you have taken insurance happens. Let's talk about health insurance, protection against surprise medical bills. Best age to get health insurance? Your 20s. Starting early is boss level thinking. Here's why. Number one, low premiums, high cover. Get this, when you're young and hopefully bossing your health game, your chances of hospitalization are lower. So insurance companies cut you a killer deal. You pay less and you get better cover. Number two, you get a no claim bonus. If you don't claim health insurance, many insurers reward you with a no claim bonus. It's a discount or an increase in coverage that piles up over the years. When you're younger, chances are high that you will get the no claim bonus because, hey, youth. And number three, lower rejection rates. You're less likely to be rejected due to pre existing health conditions. As we age, health issues can arise. Getting coverage while young ensures you're shielded from potential old people problems. How do you decide the coverage you need? It's hospital days per year multiplied by the hospital room rate. Assume the number of days you might spend in a hospital per year. A good personal ballpark is say 10 to 15 days. Now check the minimum hospital rate in and around your city, say 25,000 rupees per day. Crunch the numbers. Days multiplied